Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Malakai Lee Commitment Watch Party. Live streaming on Alabama at the Voice College Football, Michigan at the Voice College Football, Georgia at the Voice College Football, Texas, and recruiting at the Voice College Football. All right there, simulcasting on each of these channels. As I'm yours truly, Jackson Johnson from Alabama at the Voice College Football and the Jacksonian. John DeAnimo from Michigan Wolverines Live, frequently on the Chase Thomas podcast, and Georgia at the Voice College Football, Matt Green, Matthew Miller from Texas Live on Texas at the Voice College Football, Bo Underwood, who is featured on the Feinbaum Show on Back to School Week and on Georgia Bulldogs Live every Tuesday night. Bo Underwood, Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports on Alabama at the Voice College Football and Only Talk Sports, from Maze Madman and the Michigan Wolverines College Show, Kentech 615, and Juju from the Michigan College Show, and each of the Michigan shows all right here. And let me tell you something, everyone. You're going to be in for a wild ride as we all come on in and react to Malakai Lee's commitment, regardless of where he commits to. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing great.
Yeah, over here we're doing great.
We're ready. We're ready for this, man.
Bless.
Let's go get this man mountain.
Oh man. So we'll start with Matt Green and Bo Underwood first. If Malakai Lee does commit to Georgia, what does this mean for the Georgia Bulldogs? What does it do for the O-line?
Bo, I'll let you start. Oh, I think you're muted. Oh, it's the amateur hour, Bo. I'll take it from here. Georgia's they just got a Keenan Boko, the big time 4-star offensive lineman last week, and I mean, I don't know if you guys been watching. Chase Calicut just committed today, giving Georgia 5 commits in the last 5 days. They're kind of on a heater right now when it comes to recruiting, so it would just be Georgia staying hot basically. But I don't know if we should be concerned about the number of experts that are represented. If that's any indication, it feels like Michigan's got a little bit of the edge, but it'd be massive if Georgia can get him.
Can y'all hear me now?
There he is.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I had my other mic plugged in and it wasn't working. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Matt. I mean, Georgia was very in on Jackson Cantwell, and that didn't, he ultimately ended up going elsewhere. But this would be a huge get for Georgia, just like it would be for anybody. Anybody who goes to a high school called Kamehameha High School is probably a baller. So, I'm excited to see where Malakai Lee ends up.
Well, and we got Ralph Wolf shouting us out, saying, "Wow, look at this cast." Well, we thank you very much for tuning in on this special watch party right here on the Voice College Football Network. Now we get to Matthew Miller from the Texas channel. If Malakai Lee commits to Texas, what does this do for the Texas Longhorns?
It opens up options because John Turntine, I think he's a tackle, but he could, slide inside. That's where a lot of people have him. So if Malakai Lee comes, then I think honestly it opens up the position to where he doesn't have to play guard. He can slide out to tackle, or he may have to go to guard if we don't land someone like this. And also just helps our class with we have Max Wright, Nicholas Robertson. Those are more, 2 to 3 year guys that are going to it's probably going to take them to start. I think he can come in maybe year 1 and play a little bit. If not, I think he definitely can play year 2.
Well, now we get to John, Eric, and Juju.
Yeah.
If Malakai Lee commits to the Michigan Wolverines, what does this do for the Wolverines for 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. And my sources are telling me he is coming to Michigan. Now, there can always be a last-second NIL $1.5 million thing going on, but I think that I'm about 99.8 to Michigan at this point. It's going to be a massive impact on I mean, it will be for any school who could get him. 6'6", 325 pounds, 36-inch arms, 85+-inch wingspan. He can move too. So you look at some of the top linemen ever. They have the ability to balance their frame, their stature with the ability to still move. He can line up on any side, right, left, and guess what? He also plays a little basketball. So he's a versatile guy. Real quick, I just want to thank the Michigan channel for a couple of these. Michigan Man Dan gifted a subscription. Thank you for that. Michael DeVries gifted 5 Michigan memberships. So just want to shout out both of those guys for contributing.
Congrats.
I'll leave it to Kinetic and Juju.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's huge for Michigan. I mean, with our head coach being a former O lineman himself, offensive line is a huge area of focus. Sharon Moore, when he was the O line coach, gave us 2 Joe Moore award-winning lines back-to-back years. And with the depleted depth that we had last year, O-line is a huge focus for him. I mean, we got in the last cycle, we got Andrew Babalola, Ty Haywood, Avery Gash, Caden Strayhorn. This cycle, we just got a commitment a few days ago from Marky Walbridge. We've got Bear McWhirter. So I mean, it's going to be huge for us, and I really like where we're going with this offensive line. If we were able to get Malakai Lee, Juju, where do you see him fitting in? Do you think he gets playing time in his freshman year? You think it's down the road? Where do you see him fitting in with the line? You see him at tackle, or what's going
on? First and foremost, if we were able to get Malakai Lee, it would be huge for Grant Newsome in particular, as he spent a lot of time on this recruitment. Flew out to Hawaii a number of times. So for him being a second year now O-line coach, especially shadowing more, big shoes to fill. So it would be huge for him. I think he's going to be slated at tackle, and I think he's going to have to sit a few years. But when he's ready, I think he'll be ready. And, with having Juan Castillo back in that room, I think it instills a lot of confidence, going forward for this O-line group, and already another great class that we have.
If you would allow me real quick, we just got breaking news. I know Juju's going to love this. Michigan did just get a official flip of linebacker Markel Dabney from SMU to Michigan.
Live on air, Dabney flips from SMU to Michigan, the Michigan Wolverine program. That is exciting on the back of this 5 minutes away Malakai Lee announcement.
And shout out to Sharon Moore and Sean McGee, because this is one of many that are going to come from now to mid-July.
How many offensive linemen do you think that Sharon Moore is looking to take in this cycle?
I would say 3, and then probably a late push for 4 from a senior riser.
Well, now we get to Jeffrey. If Malakai Lee commits to Alabama, what does this do for the Alabama Crimson Tide for 2026 and beyond?
I mean, I think it'd be massive. I mean, when you take a guy like, Malakai Lee, a 5-star offensive lineman, 6'6", 318 pounds, you can't get much better than that. And look at the list here. I mean, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Texas. I mean, he didn't even consider USC in his final, and he's from Hawaii. He's getting the cream of the crop schools here. No slate on USC, but these are top programs here. And I feel like we've already done a really good job with our offensive line for 2026 with 2 additions, Sam Utu and also Chris Booker. Both of those are really solid offensive line additions for us. So it's not like we're hurting here if we don't land them, which we most likely will not. But if we do get them, it's just gravy, on top of the mashed potatoes. It's just a massive class brewing for Alabama on the offensive line front. And we already have a great offensive line for this season. So, you have that to showcase, but I do think at the end of the day, Malakai Lee is going to go to Michigan. Everybody's expecting that. But Alabama. We're in a good spot without him, but with him, it would be even better. It would just be even sweeter for our 2026 class.
I mean, in the NIL era, though, nothing's ever final until it's final,
Yep.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I mean, we've seen some crazy flips. I mean, literally guys commit to schools these days and then they end up leaving. We saw with Bryce Underwood. He was at, LSU and then he goes to Michigan. So he could commit to Michigan, go somewhere else. I doubt that, but you never know. So it's crazy.
Like I brought it up backstage, but just here recently, what was it, a week or two ago with that wide receiver from Georgia? Everyone had him flipping to Michigan. He calls Georgia to let him know, and 9 minutes later, he's back to committed to Georgia. So,
which one was that?
I don't want to mess up his last name. It's like Mark. It's spelled like Marchese, but I think it's pronounced like Marchese. Or something.
Okay, yeah. The from what's it? Not Dawsonville. What's Trevor Lawrence's high school? Cartersville. There you go. Yeah, that's where he was from.
Yeah, everyone had him flipping. They even put everything went live on the crystal ball predictions, flipping to Michigan, and 9 minutes later it flipped back.
Well, Matt, Bo, you guys saw a recruiting win already today.
Yes,
for Georgia, the 4-star cornerback Chase Calicut from Houston, Texas. What was your reaction when you saw he committed to Georgia over Texas and Michigan? How did that feel exactly?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was anytime you get a corner out of Texas and you pull him out of his home state, I feel like it's a pretty big deal. I mean, Texas is pretty good about keeping those DBs in state. And I mean, college football and football really is just a sport where, I mean, you can never have enough corners. It is a position that's just impossible to play. And you see guys who just it's a position that you just have to stack them. You just have to keep stacking them up. And I think this is a pretty big win for Georgia just on the recruiting trail. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is now, I think, Georgia's 6th DB in this class. It feels like Georgia's just stacking up the DBs. And with Kirby Smart and now Travaris Robinson and Dante Williams, this is just an insanely, DB-centric defensive side of the coaching staff.
Well, and it's that time already, it looks like. And there's our guy, TJ Ronin, the operations manager of the Voice of College Football and the host of the Michigan College Show and co-host of Wolverines Live, the man that's really making things work behind the scenes.
It's true.
There you go.
Yeah, he's off doing something, but in the chat, and I do have the Instagram Live up right now. It's filling up with people, including Michigan players, rooting on this commitment here. So very exciting.
Oh, there we go. While we wait for this young man's commitment, let's watch this little huddle tape of Malakai Lee, shall we?
Beast.
As soon as get out of there, ad. We don't care about those ads.
Yeah, and Jackson has found this is one of those recruits that does not have it's like a school by school, but there isn't I don't think a master cut of every school on this one, but you can at least see here he's playing, just getting that guy down right away. Really good hands, really good awareness.
So what you're saying, John, is that he needs to take some of this NIL money and hire a better editor for his
well, I'm not going to go there because I want to interview him. So we're not going to say that, actually.
He looks like he's pretty mad at those defensive linemen. He's just chewing them up like chicken
nuggets. That's your job, man. You got to do it.
Listen, Michigan mentality. And when you're, like I said, for those of you just joining us, Malakai Lee's about to commit to a certain school. And he is 6'6". He's 325 pounds, 36-inch arms, 85-inch wingspan, 4-star, literally the number 2 player in all of Hawaii.
Oh.
Yeah, I misspoke earlier. He's like a high 4-star. I mean, he's basically as close to a 5-star as you can get. You know,
there's a reason we picked this
He's
commit.
a quality player.
There's a reason we picked this one to do the watch party. Like he's a very legit add-on.
Not to be Debbie Down over here, but Hawaii is a pretty small state. I mean, I'm just saying.
Produces some quality football players.
Yeah.
Well,
your tune will change if he goes to Georgia, though. Trust me.
No.
Absolutely, it's a competitive division out there in the Pacific Ocean.
Well, and right now it's 1 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time in Hawaii, and of course it's 6:33 p.m. Central Time, 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:33 p.m. Mountain Time in the Mountain Time Zone, and I believe we're 3 hours behind the Pacific Time, or is it 2 hours?
Yeah, it's 4:30 in the Pacific and it's 5:30 in Mountain Time. There we go.
So the word on the street is too, his whole family's going to move to wherever he's playing. Is there a bigger downgrade from going from Hawaii to Michigan?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hawaii to Tuscaloosa.
Fired.
Hey.
On the stream right now.
You know what though? We don't have volcanoes up here, so that's enough.
The most recent national championship, also, out of anybody here.
I'm just talking weather. I'm just talking weather.
I mean, Matthew's got
Ann Arbor can get cold.
It's pretty warm, you know.
Listen. In Ann Arbor, you do need a thick skin, some thermal underwear. It can get a little cold. There's no doubt about that, but it is beautiful.
I will say this, as somebody who lived in the South for almost 20 years, coming to Michigan, one of the best parts about it, as far as the weather, is for half the year, insects go back to hell.
Oh my God, that does sound pretty awesome.
Yep,
it's true. I'm also just salty because we're gonna finish second a lot this weekend, and this is just another one of those. So,
I mean, y'all are still leading for Ojo?
Yeah. Well, I would be shocked if we don't end up with Ojo in turn time. That would shock.
Okay, so I don't have much of the volume on, but it looks like he's reading like his thank you speech or something like that. But
does he have the hats lined up?
No, he doesn't have the hat on.
No
yet.
hats. Come on, man.
Oh, the hats are there.
He doesn't have the hat on, but once he's got the hat on, you're gonna see one of these 4 teams on the graphic.
I feel like the hat science would have pointed me to Georgia, to be honest. That's the best.
I mean, I've seen some of the guys before where they're like hovering over one and then get another. I love that though.
Dude, the hat stuff gets weird, man. Like when Quay Walker committed to Georgia, he like put on the Tennessee hat and like threw it across the room and felt like
makes it fun.
Yeah,
made him a fan favorite immediately.
Get crazy with your hat. Hat.
You know,
I think
it's funny.
Hilarious when they have the tag still on them. Then you're like, you're not choosing that school.
So for anybody that plays the college football video game, in the new game, the Road to Glory, you can actually do the whole hat ceremony. You can fake it out. You can throw a hat around across the room. It's hilarious.
I saw that they released like the deep dive for that
for Road to Glory today.
Right? Yeah, I need to check that out. They're adding high school back. I saw.
Yep,
that's good.
Again, it comes out in like 10 days. Me and some of the guys with the Michigan podcasting community, we're talking about doing a podcasters league.
Oh, dude, go down
with each other, and then potentially one for viewers. So if you're interested, hit me up on X. My X name is Kinetic615. Let me know if you're interested.
I was going to say we could do a Voice of College Football one and just start a new channel and have it on the channel.
I'm down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not officially part of the Voice of College Football, but I don't know, John. Would I still count for it?
Sorry, I'm trying to watch the. He's about to go live here, but yeah, sure. I'm just gonna say yeah, sure to whatever was just said. He's doing a speech right now. He's thanking everybody.
Sean Garner.
I love it.
All the Ohio State fans.
Don't be salty, Sean.
It's like Sean
has to throw an Ohio State ice cube on the hot soup of excitement that we have right now. Just is what it is.
I'm pretty sure he would be their highest rated offensive lineman committed at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Haven't they been losing out on offensive linemen left and right?
He's going to Michigan. He's going to Michigan.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
There we go.
Breaking news.
There we go.
Breaking news.
Another championship offensive lineman right there.
What up, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking on our show earlier this week, like when Georgia was kind of the powerhouse that they were, or not say Georgia's not still a powerhouse, but
Georgia sucks now.
when they had national championship winning teams, you saw the Jamari Sawyers and the Broderick Jones, Amarius Mims, those 5-star offensive linemen. Last year, you didn't really have as much. I mean, you got obviously multiple guys got drafted, and that was, by far Georgia's worst run game, I think, since I've been alive, to be honest. So it's all built on the, just stacking those guys in the offensive line.
You know who doesn't usually have trouble in the run game?
Who's that?
Michigan.
Really? Yeah, I feel like also, I mean, not to generalize, but I do feel, I mean, Hawaii has a pretty crazy track record of pumping out these offensive line prospects in recent years. I mean,
hey, the Polynesian kids are massive.
Yeah, dude.
And
Look, man, I'm a Lions fan. I know all about Penn State. So.
Right, exactly. I'm definitely happy that we've seemed to open up a little bit of that pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say, though, to the Michigan Wolverines, congrats on this fine commitment. How you guys feeling?
Happy,
2 in a row. Let's go.
Happy. I mean, you look, like I mentioned earlier, the commitments that we've got in this last cycle and the next one for offensive line. I mean, it's looking really nice for Bryce Underwood and Jordan Marshall, Justice Haynes, maybe Savion Hyder for the next few years. Looking really nice.
Oh, calling your shot on Savion Hyder? They getting him?
Oh, yeah.
We're feeling pretty good about that one.
When's his commitment?
July 4th or 5th, I think.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay.
It might be 4th of July. Yeah.
And then, Derek Cooper's that following week. So the big-time running back's coming off the board.
Yep. But yeah, I'm loving the outlook for our offensive line, especially with, like I said, a head coach who is a former offensive lineman himself. I love it.
Well, Matthew, now that Texas is not getting him, what's next for the Longhorns?
Turntine is the 4th, I believe. I think this basically solidifies that he's going to go to Texas. I don't really see any scenario where he doesn't. Felix Ojo, if that guy has been feeling like a Texas lean for the past 5 to 6 months, I guess he could pull a complete 180, surprise me, and go to Ohio State. But I think those are the next 2 in the class. But it's going to be pretty interesting. And this is one, I guess, in Texas circles, they know they're going to recruit Malakai Lee through the whistle, which is common with Steve Sarkisian. If you look to he's flipped in December, I mean, Georgia guys know Justice Terry really late in the cycle. Anthony Hill flipping from Texas A&M. Ty Anthony Smith flipping from Texas A&M. He's going to recruit through the whistle. So, I mean, there's going to be 1 or 2 guys in this class that Texas has not even really contacted that Texas is going to end up getting. That's how that usually works with Sark.
Well, Matt and Bo, what's next for the Bulldogs?
I think they'll be fine. No, not to that sounds. I'm not saying. I don't mean to be.
This guy wasn't even a take for us. We didn't even want him.
We don't even care.
Careful, now you're sounding like Notre Dame fans.
We cooled on him. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, do you have anything?
I know Georgia, in terms of the offensive line, I'm not sure necessarily the next biggest prospects are out there, but I think Georgia's got potentially like 7 commits in 7 days. I think they got another announcing on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's kind of crazy how many commits. What is Georgia up to, like the 3rd or 4th ranked class right now? I think 3rd on 24/7, up to 23 commits.
Yeah,
I think they had like 15 commits like 2 weeks ago.
There we go. We'll wait and see what happens for the Bulldogs. I'm excited to see what they're bringing to the table, and I'm excited to see what Texas is bringing to the table. Michigan is bringing a lot to the table. And we got a super chat from Dan the Diesel Free saying, congratulations, Wolverine fans. And Matthew Miller needs to chat.
Thank you. But what's wrong with Matt's facial hair.
I was gonna say I
Doesn't
keep
even
it like
mention
super
John.
clean,
Well,
man.
he wouldn't be
So
Matthew Miller without his famous beard. I mean,
he
I'm the
also
one who needs
hates.
a beard
He
trim.
also hates me based on yesterday. You know, there was a whole exchange, but
Ah.
we're good.
Well, thanks for the $5.
I respect putting down $5 so you can flame one of the panelists. I
Hey,
respect.
if you put in 50, I'll shave my beard.
Whoa! Holy
Hey!
shit! Hey,
I'll
dude,
shave
it might-
my head on stream if you
just got
donate
interesting.
You might want to bump up that number real quick because someone on the Michigan channel might
Just
throw
Dan.
it in.
Dan's got to do it. Dan's got to pay me. Not anyone.
Oh, it's
Dan.
got to be Dan. Okay, it's got
Gotta
to be
be
Dan. That's
Dan.
the revision. Okay.
I knew a guy that like shaved his head after Alabama pulled off the upset over Florida in 1999. So I mean, there's that.
How do you feel about this, Matthew? Texas guys should all wear cowboy hats. How do you feel about
Oh, interesting take there.
No, I'm not gonna ever wear a cowboy.
And
hat. That's not
and
gonna happen.
Coach Smook is in the chat saying that Malakai Lee means zero to Alabama in my mind. Jeffrey, what do you and I think about this? Like Zero and the rest of the offensive line targets for 2026 and beyond. How are we feeling about this?
I mean, definitely not shocking that he went to Michigan. You know, it's not a big loss for Alabama. Like I said, we already have two really good commits. Maybe not to the degree, you know, of Malakai Lee. I think Utu is really good, though. I think he's a really solid offensive lineman from what we've seen of his high school tape. So I think Alabama's in a good spot. We, like you said, with Zur, some other guys that we're looking at. I don't think we're like starving for O linemen, though. It's not like if we don't get another one, it's the end of the world. You still have the portal. No, it's not the greatest route to go, especially for O linemen because they're pretty expensive in the portal, but they're also pretty expensive when you're getting them from high school as well. I mean, offensive linemen are very expensive. That's why certain programs you're seeing like putting more towards that position and less on like receivers. That's why receivers maybe are finding it harder to get NIL. A program like Michigan, they're killing it with NIL. That's really, you know, a big reason why they're recruiting so well. For us, I mean, we know that we already have a couple of good offensive linemen. We got a great, you know, offensive line group right now. Didn't need to spend the big bucks for Malakai Lee. So I think that we might land another offensive lineman in the 2026 class. Not going to be as good, obviously, but it's not going to be the end of the world for Bama. We're fine, and I think our recruiting is in a good spot.
Well, especially since we got Sam Utu as part of our recruiting class.
That was a big get.
There. And Matthew, my apologies for reading this next super. I don't know what I don't know what Dan the Diesel Freak has against you, but
I think Dan got his feelings hurt last
$45
night.
short of his $50 goal, though.
I mean,
Matthew Miller, I get more girls at tutors than you, and they got hot over me, little bro. Man, he's got quite a mind on there. Hey, what's up, Coach?
What's up, everybody? How y'all feeling, man? I just got done doing a interview, man. Well, pre-recorded interview with the family, man, and some of the other things surrounding Malakai Lee, and it was an interesting little conversation as he got ready to go on. That's the reason I didn't join live. I had already knew what the commitment was. So
well, welcome in.
I meant to text you, Jackson, but it happened last minute. We've been in contact with their family since their official visit, man. And like I said in the chat,
good people.
Yeah, very good people. But lead to Michigan, I believe, after that conversation, man. And this is just my personal opinion. I'm not going to say there's anything verbatim behind it. This commitment, yes, it means something for Michigan fans, but I think it's more of an agenda for Alabama. I heard Jeffrey talking about, you know, the cost of offensive linemen. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straightforward. That wasn't nearly a factor in this situation. This is literally a family fit type thing, and you have a divide amongst the family, right? And we know what their culture brings, but also schematically, man. You're looking at the tackles that's being developed at Alabama. Malakai Lee is definitely one of the ones that's very rare in his skill set at the tackle position. Not necessarily a schematic fit for Alabama, but it's rare, and you would love to see a talent like his develop into this scheme. Looking at how Caden Proctor is coming along, you kind of get a feel that he would have had the same type of opportunities, a growth pattern with his skill set true freshman type year, being able to impact with the new group of guys setting up next year. So it would have been nice, but I think Michigan right now has the immediate opportunity for him. I think my man up there, John, agree with him. With his skill set, he's literally like your next, for us, Caden Proctor, true freshman coming in. You're ready to see him get on the field, and he's displaying that. So I like it for Michigan, but I will say this, Michigan fans, it's not done. Just believe Coach Cap and that staff, they're going to be pushing for Malakai Lee throughout this process up until early Saturday.
Agreed. And as
Wouldn't
I
expect
always
anything
say,
less.
don't throw the cart in before the horse. That is something you never do.
Wait,
especially
what's
in
the other thing
recruiting.
you say, Jackson?
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That's
There
my
it is.
favorite one right there. The baby out with
That's
the
the
bathwater.
all-time right there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to use that line when it's for week 1, week 2, and basically September, October throughout the regular season, all college football.
Okay.
But yeah, and yeah. So again, sorry about the comments from Dan, Matt.
Oh, I don't
They
care.
were a
He
super
paid.
chat,
He-
man.
yeah,
They
he
were
paid.
a super chat. Nothing to be
Yay.
sorry about.
Yeah.
Financial contributions are financial contributions.
I mean, I like what Coach Dirt said about the freshman. I like what he said about the freshman coming in and impact as a freshman. And he could have impact. You know, we got Andrew Babalo, we got Ty Haywood, coming in. Left tackle spot is pretty much up for grabs. I mean, depending on Babalo's
right.
Yeah. But we're all expecting him to slide there. Haywood, I'm expecting to move inside probably. But Sprague is pretty much locked up at right tackle. So Malakai Lee, pending that he signs, which I think he will. I think that left tackle, him and Babalo will battle it out.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's very rare to have a freshman in that position, but I think it's likely by week 6.
Yeah,
at the latest.
I agree.
Another thing, I like Moose coming in here and I like him establishing it. And it's crazy that he's coming in and saying this, and he's actually if this is what he's hearing and what he's banking off of, he's actually really close because it's literally a divide in the family, y'all. And you all know with Tula's family, when Alabama was recruiting Tula, his ultimate decision to be at Alabama was the blessing of his father. And we know how that culture is. We don't want to get religious and talk about religion, but when the father gives the blessing, that's where you go. And right now, it seems as if there's an issue with grandfather, there's an issue with father, there's mom wants this, and there's a lot of things in this decision. And as the son, you're going to go with what dad says initially, but there's a lot. I mean, the family loved Alabama, they love Tuscaloosa, they love being up in Michigan. I think they're initially in their early recruiting, Oregon was really giving them a lot of attention and was really trying to showcase that family environment. But being on campus at Alabama really opened their eyes and really started to create the conversation for Alabama to be in it. So Michigan was kind of like the first foregone conclusion initially. And I think he just stuck with the safe bet right now. And I think it's a good fit for him. You guys keep talking about the depth. I think right now Malakai Lee is probably one of the 3 or 4 top, tackles that's ready, college ready right now in this 26 class. And I mean, like, literally you put him in week 1 and the growing pains that you deal with him are favorable or, legit growing pains that you would possibly deal with a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore. So I think it's going to be a solid get if Michigan can hold on to him. And it's going to be a even more interesting weekend for Michigan based off of some of the things that I'm hearing. I know you guys got Nick Abrams is looking at y'all too. That's one of my personal guys. I love the fact that he's paying attention to Michigan. And I as a Bama fan, as a diehard Bama fan, if my youngins aren't going to Bama, I like for them to go to schematic fits. And you guys got Lee. Schematically, I think he's the tackle for what you need. Like we talked about replacing. And then you mess around and pull Abrams in that linebacker room. Y'all got a lot of young uncovered talent in that linebacker room at Michigan, just waiting to get on the field, get some rotational depth and reps in. Michigan could be building something special by, landing star guys like Lee, and maybe if you get an Abrams or I forget the safety that you all are after too in this class, a 4-star guy. So yeah, so I'm all over the recruiting right now, and I'm paying attention, especially when I'm talking to my guys. So this is a huge one. I like it for Michigan. I like Lee's process and how his family is dealing with it. And yeah, that overpaid crap, throw it out the window, man. Everybody ain't chasing a dollar in this day and age. It might seem like that, but that's not the case.
I mean, from what I understood with Lee, it was a lot of a lot of his relationship with Coach Moore and Coach Newsom. There's a huge relationship that he has built up with them, and I believe that they have visited him out in Hawaii more than any other coaching staff. So I believe that that's a big part of his commitment.
I agree with. That's why I said
I was gonna ask Smook when he was still here, but I was he trying to get at that there's a possibility that Malakai Lee could switch, his commitment to Bama later? Is that because Bryce Young did that? He was at USC and then he ended up going to Bama later. I didn't know if that's what he was getting at because he said there was that divide.
That's what he was basically saying. Yeah,
that's basically what he was getting at because I was listening to that. I'm like, that reminds me of Bryce Young because he was going to USC. He was committed to USC and then he decommitted and went to Bama. You never know. I just said the money because I know Michigan's doing very well with NIL. That's all I know. I don't know figures. I don't know exact stats, but they're doing very well with NIL.
That's all you're not wrong. NIL is really, really good right now. I just think in this recruitment, we were the first ones on them. Like I guess that's why I said it was very important for him for Newsom to land this commitment because he's new and he spent so much time with Lee. So yeah. I was 100% aware of the divided families. But like I said, I got caught word earlier this week that that would be the decision. I didn't check back in on that for a few days, but I knew that the families were divided, and it could come down to sign day, which every recruit does. I like where we sit right now. That was a big win. I know all the SEC teams were in on them.
Yeah, big win for Newsom, absolutely. And we were on them from the beginning. The reason why you're seeing a lot of these Michigan commits come in at this point is because for quite some time they were not Sean McGee and the Michigan athletic department's policy was to not talk dollars and cents with recruits. So this is only a very recent development because of the House negotiations that were happening with the NCAA, that now Michigan is talking dollars and cents with recruits, and now Michigan is starting to close on some of these major pieces that have been in play for a while.
From now till mid-July is going to be a lot of commitments coming.
Yeah, I think the thing that a lot of people maybe outside of the Michigan sphere might not understand as far as like Michigan with recruiting and NIL is that for the longest time, they tried to do it the right way. When NIL was sort of an open, like anything goes, but it was still technically on the books illegal for pay to play, they tried to focus their NIL on retaining players that were already there, not inducing players to come play for them. It wasn't until last summer when it became fully legal to pay the recruits coming in that they really started talking money. And that's why you saw the late surge on all the players that we got last year. This year, they were avoiding talking final numbers until the House settlement came out because there's a lot of schools out there that they talk money, they promise the kid money, and then he commits, and then they go find the money. Whereas Michigan's approach, from what I understand, is that they want to have the money already there before they offer it to a kid, before they promise anything. And so that's why since the House settlement, you've really seen a major uptick in the amount and the commitments and the just the hype around Michigan recruiting. And as Juju was saying, over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot more fireworks.
I'll say one thing. This kind of feels like the Jimbo Fisher situation. Like, I don't know, fans just get kind of butthurt. It's like paying players is legal now. You don't have to be like, oh, it's not just because we paid him. Maybe it is because you paid him. That's like, what? Who cares? You just got to land the recruit.
Yeah, it's funny. For the longest time, Michigan critics and haters would tell us, "Oh, you guys are falling behind. You got to get with the times. Paying players. That's how it goes now. You got to modernize your recruitment." And they would laugh at us because we weren't doing it. Now we're doing it, and they're all upset about it.
Yeah, it's like if that's the game, they're playing the game. It's like I think Georgia, because Georgia is one of these that also kind of talks like when it actually comes down to a bidding war, lots of times Georgia doesn't win those bidding wars, but obviously Georgia's landing a bunch of recruits. So it's like Georgia's paying their guys something. So it's not like everyone who commits to us is doing it for the right reasons and everyone who goes somewhere else is getting paid. It's like I think fans are just kind of used to this oh, if we lost somebody, it's because of whatever reason.
It's an
like,
easy excuse.
Yeah, it's like maybe Michigan did pay the most for him. They got him, and like I think John's point earlier, like I pretty much don't trust any offensive lineman coming out of the portal. I feel like if you're gonna get like big time offensive linemen, it feels like you have to get them out of high school. So like whatever it takes, like you gotta get these guys.
And I'll say, like, we aren't top dollar for every recruit, you know, but if I am very confident that the ones that we really want, I don't think there's a team, NIL wise, money wise, that can compete with us if we go all in. Like, but again, we're not top dollar for every recruit, and I don't think any school is top dollar for every recruit, and that isn't the only reason these guys come in.
No, I think now, especially with like general managers and everything, this is an NFL model. So every team prioritizes different things. So like some guys might have $1 million price tag for one team, but $500,000 price tag for another. So it's all over the place. That's the thing with Texas. Like when they really want a guy, they do go out of their way. We saw that with Richard Wesley this time when he came.
Right.
It was like, hey, we're going to make you top guy because that's who we think you are. And it got done. So that's what happens sometimes with certain programs. And I think it's going to be really interesting. And it also allows more teams to compete that way too. Like I think there's a lot like Indiana, Jeffrey, if they wanted to, they have a pretty, they have a lot of money with their alumni base. I mean, Mark Cuban and those guys, if they really got behind football, they could probably prioritize it a little bit more.
Yeah, they definitely are too. Cause like prior to this past, class in the portal with Signetti, I mean, they weren't landing anybody. You had the decent 2022 class with Tom Allen, but all that disintegrated when they started losing. But now, like you see this 2026 class, they've got like 3-4 stars committed. And I mean, they're not like massive names, like guys that we're going to be doing watch parties for, but they're guys that you see that Georgia might have offered, but maybe didn't really pursue, or you're seeing Alabama. I mean, those are guys that Indiana never would have gotten. They would have gone to Wisconsin. They would have gone to, Minnesota, like programs that are in better shape. Like Indiana was a bottom feeder. Now Indiana is getting players that other programs want that are at Indiana's level or maybe even slightly above, and guys that the major programs were at least considering a little bit. And that's a major difference. Plus, Signetti and the coaching staff are just 10 times better, so that kind of helps too. So, yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, they could get more players if they want.
Minnesota is getting players. Like, Minnesota is going to have probably a top 25 recruiting class.
Yeah, Minnesota.
What's so funny about that, Matthew, is that, like, I saw that, like, the Big Ten and the SEC, the top 30 classes, they're like 22 of them or whatever. It's like the entirety of the top 30 is the Big Ten and the SEC. I mean, we know that they're the two best conferences now, but it's like you're seeing it reflected in the recruits. So now you're seeing programs like Indiana, like Missouri, these mid-tier to low-tier programs, they're getting guys over Virginia Tech. They're getting guys over Baylor now, the mid-tier programs in the ACC and the Big 12s, because I don't want to use money again, but it's like the Big 10 and the SEC, it's where it's at. That's where the players want to go. And that's why all across the board, it's making the top two conferences stronger, because even the teams that weren't powerhouses are getting pretty solid players, to your point.
I think more and more
it's the money and the fact that they took their best teams too. Right. Like Texas, Oklahoma, USC, and Oregon are some of the few other non-SEC Big 10 teams that actually would be up there.
Well, and I think more and more the NIL era and the transfer portal, it's going to be a lot harder to stack your team with guys on the bench, because that talent's going to spread out among teams that traditionally didn't get those guys now.
Absolutely. I mean, you're seeing guys that normally would have been like the third or fourth best player at the position at Alabama. They're now going and playing at a Missouri. They're going and playing at an Indiana, because it's like I can get good NIL at these places and I'll be the starting player, like the star, and I can go pro that way. I know everybody's like saying with NIL that, it's making the blue bloods even better. And you can maybe argue that, but I do think that there is an undercurrent effect of these middle to low tier programs in the top two conferences, at least, that are doing very well when it comes to getting these low 4-stars, high 3-star players that maybe they used to not be able to get. I mean, you're seeing it in other sports too. It's being affected everywhere. I mean, look, like I've seen like players, they've been talking about softball, right? Like Texas Tech's killing it in softball. They're killing it in other sports, right? I know it's random, but like NIL is affecting every sport. It is affecting everything. And certain programs are utilizing it at certain sports, and it's just changed. It's changed the landscape. Teams that used to never be good. I never would have thought in my life Indiana would have made the college football playoff, and they made the college football playoff, and it wouldn't have happened without NIL and the portal and all this. Because Signetti said he wasn't going to go to Indiana unless there was a financial commitment, and that's what they did. They said we're going to actually help you win, and that's what happened. So you have to have money. You have to have a commitment to win in this day and age, and if not, you're going to get left behind.
It didn't hurt making it 12-team playoff either.
And, well, Indiana went 3-9 the year before that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
just wait till it goes to 16. What, next year?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
Do we
Yeah,
really
but
need that?
Iowa's going to make the playoff now, right?
I've started to love the 4-team playoff more now. One thing that's just worth repeating is, I mean, even Matt I think Texas probably has one of the largest recruiting budgets. I think that's probably fair to say. But even at Texas, like at anywhere, there's not unlimited money.
No.
So you do have to, like, you don't want to be overpaying necessarily $2 million in the portal. It's better to sometimes invest in players out of high school that you can grow, you can develop. Jordan Marshall, great example of a player that isn't a transfer, started was recruited to Michigan and is now running back 1. He has outdueled the transfer Haynes, who's going to be RB2, and that's where he's at right now. And so, like, there's clearly value in these types of recruitments, like what we just saw, this commitment tonight.
I just want to point out for the Michigan fans that are watching real quick, you should go watch Wink Martindale's Twitter. He just tweeted, "Stay buckled. We ain't done yet."
Stay buckled.
Stay buckled.
Wink Martindale on Twitter is it's gold.
Yeah, he says
it's
buckle up when when commitments are about to happen. He says buckle up, and now he's saying stay buckled.
Oh, well, I'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. Matthew, you were gonna say something, and once you get done, we're gonna get to Coach Smook for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Money whipping recruits doesn't work either. Like, I think Texas A&M proved that. When guys don't want to be there and you money whip them to be there, guess what happens? They transfer and they abuse their power while they're there. So they actually have to be interested in your school as well. Like, you can't just, this guy has you as 20th on your list and you say, well, if I give you this amount, you'll come here. It's like, well, yeah, I'll come there. Will I be happy about it? Will I really want to play for you? Probably not, but I'll come. That you can't be doing that either. Like, if they make your top 3 or 4, then I think that's when it's time to, bring out the bank, money whip them if you need to. But it doesn't make any sense to me to where, hey, they don't want to be here, but we're going to force them to be here because we're going to give them this contract they don't really deserve.
Unserious.
Jimbo, man.
Yeah,
not familiar with that term.
Money whipping?
Just
money whipping.
Just
oh, man. Coach, you were going to say something?
No, I accidentally clicked on my face, but I do have to make an exit, guys. I definitely want to tap in. Didn't want you guys to think I was skipping out on the watch party. I enjoyed the one last night. Hate that I had to be in here late, but get the information that I did, and then 5 minutes as I'm trying to jump in, I'm looking at the announcement being made. So it was pretty cool seeing it happen, and kind of hearing everything in the background. It was pretty cool. That was an experience. I haven't seen that one yet. I know last year, Chuck McDonald and AJ Abdul Sanders, I was tapped in live, like FaceTiming them during their commitment. So that was an experience. But to see Malakai, to experience it and have the commit go somewhere else, that was an experience. But the family, like I said, this is a respectable family, man. I'm glad for Michigan. They're getting a quality kid. If he continues to stay committed throughout the process and sign on signing day, I think they're getting a quality kid. But other than that, man, I just want to thank everybody. Shout out to everybody. My first time actually getting to see everybody face to face. Glad to be a part of this team, man. From everybody, Bo, Matt, both Matts, Jeff, Juju. I see you down there with no camera on, Juju. Come on, Juju.
He gave it to us for a few minutes.
Look, I know, Juju. Hey, Juju, you got to start acting up a little bit with us on camera. And John, Kenneth, And of course, my partner in crime, Jackson, man. Y'all know how we
Double
trying to
J.
do this thing, man. So I appreciate y'all for allowing me to be in this little party, man. And I'll catch up with y'all later. Everybody check your boy out at Coach Smook on all platforms and continue to support Voice of College Football, each platform, each team that you support. But definitely come check us out at the Alabama Voice of College Football. Thank y'all. And I'll catch up with y'all later, man.
Catch up to you later, Coach.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.
Thanks, Coach Smook.
Yes, sir.
And Matt Green and Bo Underwood, we get to you guys next. What have you got going on in your crazy world in Athens?
We just keep the countdown going every show. I think right now, what are we, 64 days till college football season starts? Till the real
7 days till
the real week 1.
54 days.
Yeah, week 0 is not that important. It kind of matters. A little teaser, but week 1 worth that.
It's better than nothing, right? They schedule like 2 decent programs every year, week 0, and it's like, okay,
yeah. I mean, it's a little teaser, but it's like, why don't you just give us the whole thing?
Didn't they have the backyard brawl at week 0 one year? That was kind of cool.
Yeah, Florida Miami, I remember, was week 0 a couple years back. That was a good
sometimes
one.
It's
that was a terrible game though.
That was
it was a great college football game. That's what we live for. Both teams turning it over 5 times.
That was awesome. DJ Dallas, beast.
Oh man!
But yeah, every Tuesday, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I don't know, depending on how we're feeling. Sometimes we change it up.
Dude,
but
me and Matt kind of wing it when we start. Once we get out of the dog days of summer, we're gonna have a more consistent.
Hey, we'll be having a preview with them though this week.
Yeah,
that's true.
An early preview.
That's right.
Oh, there we go, Matthew and Matt, kind of like Mike and Mike. Matthew and Matt, I'm loving it.
There you go. The Texas Longhorns,
reunited.
They want to lose again to the Bulldogs, so we'll talk about it.
I can't say anything because you own us, so it is what it is.
You should have had him last year, Matthew. Come on, man.
The
Texas
SEC
was the
championship
superior team, and you couldn't beat Georgia. It was crazy.
It really was. Georgia was an whelming team most of the year, except for when they played Texas.
That's the way we were against Georgia last year. We were horrible last year, except against Georgia and LSU. And then for Texas, it was like Texas did really well, except against Georgia. That was Georgia's heyday last year. It's crazy how that works. You show up for the big game, and then you don't for anything else. It feels like.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier this week. I had a lot of criticisms of Jalen Milroe after the Georgia-Alabama game. I was like, okay, maybe he's the best player in college football. I don't know. He never played like that ever again.
Yeah, one off.
Except
sometimes that happens.
Bro, number 1.
I mean, a good representation is how did he do against the closest thing to an NFL defense that he played twice last year?
Yeah.
I will say they obviously. I'm not taking anything away from Michigan's win over Alabama last year.
They
had some awful luck with that weather. They had some awful. Oh, that's right. They had some awful luck with that weather. It was like a pouring for 15 minutes, and
but both teams had to play in it
3 times.
Well, both teams were playing in it.
Got to pick the right shoes.
But Bama was on offense the whole time it was raining.
For the bowl game. Literally, if Saban was still the coach, we would have showed up. I can't say we would have won, but we would have showed up and played well. We did not play well at all. Michigan was great on defense, but we didn't show up. We just absolutely did not show up, and that's a shame. It doesn't matter if the bowl games are relevant. You still got to play. You're there.
That rain though, that was surreal to watch it. It just started out of nowhere. It was like a monsoon in Phoenix, Arizona for 15 minutes, and then it just left.
Yeah,
and it was the craziest thing.
Milroe turned it over 3 times. They couldn't get a snap.
Dude, he got drafted by the Seahawks.
Yeah,
whose head coach is a former Michigan coach. So,
well, tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Post about the magic that Matt Green and Bo Underwood bring you on Bulldogs Live Tuesday nights. And don't forget to be telling everyone at Post about the magic that Matt Green brings almost on a bi-weekly basis on the Chase Thomas podcast, where he goes over his take on the Bulldogs with Chase Thomas. And For those that are tuning in to Bo Underwood, you can check him out on Bulldogs Live Tuesday nights, all right there with Matt Green on Georgia at the Boys College Football. Tune in. You won't want to miss it.
Thanks, fellas. Congratulations on the commitment.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, man. Have a good day.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I just followed you.
All right, man.
So
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
And now we get to Matthew Miller. What magic are you and Gerald cooking up on Texas Longhorns Live this week?
So we will be doing the Georgia early game preview this Tuesday. So no show Monday, but Tuesday. So that'll be fun to watch or be a part of also. But yeah, I mean, excited times because recruiting is in full swing. We have, July 4th coming up with multiple commitments coming. Tomorrow, we'll see what happens with James Johnson. I don't think it's going to go very well. I think he's going to go to Georgia. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting, very busy up until probably about the end of August. And then guess what? Fall camp season a month away. So really, we're just kicking into gear now.
All right. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the Texas Georgia early preview. I know a lot of us are. It's going to be a wild ride, and we appreciate representing the Texas Longhorns. If you want top-notch Texas takes, check out Matthew Miller and Gerald Goodrich on Texas at the Voice College Football. Like, comment, subscribe to that channel, and you'll get top-notch Texas coverage. Ken Take, 615. We will get to you. What magic are you cooking up on the Michigan Call-In show or on the Avengers shows and on the Maze Madman channel? What have you got going on there, good buddy?
Yeah, so I mean, me and my guys, Maze Madman and the Boxing Maniac, we do a show every Monday night, Maze Madman on YouTube. I've also recently started doing a sports and gaming podcast with a longtime friend of mine, Lich Max. We just started that last week. You can catch that on my gaming channel over on Kinetic 615 Plays. You can catch me on all social media, everywhere, X, and Instagram, whatever, at Kinetic 615. I do have a GoFundMe that I'm currently running to try to get through a very hard time for myself and my mother. That is in the bio for my X account, also on both of my YouTube channels, Kinetic 615 and Kinetic 615 Plays. And you can catch me on very often on any of the Voice of College Football channels. I try to tune in, call in, and just hang out when I can and help everyone grow their audience.
There we go. Tell your friends, family, and cashiers post about the match that Kinetic 615 is bringing all right there on the links they listed down below. Tune in. You won't want to miss them. John, you're up next, my friend.
Oh, it's me?
I know, right? I'm used to you, like just being like. Oh,
I know. This is so weird. It's like a whole different thing. Anyway,
the OGs remember you as One Scoop John. And
yeah, I still call you One Scoop John.
One Scoop John. Yep,
and the
when I started. Yep.
So it's like there you go.
Yep. Folks, I want to encourage everybody to check out the TJ Ronin breakdown of Malakai Lee. It is officially up on our site on the Michigan channel right now. So I'm going to post the link in the chat for all the channels to check out. It's got a film breakdown, all of that good stuff. TJ goes in depth on these things. And then every Tuesday we have Michigan Wolverines live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We bring you all the news you need to know, recruiting intel, insights. And we have our own sources. We go hard in the paint on this thing. We're talking to people inside the program. We're talking to recruits. I mean, it's great. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern is TJ Ronin and Johnny Olden Jr. Michigan Call-In Show live. So if you want to check out the Michigan content, give us a sub. Check it out.
There we
Hey,
go.
and no more Dan the Diesel Freak because he didn't give me the $45 to shave. So.
Yeah.
Hey, he might come in at the end. You never know.
So I know, right? It's like
It'd be like right before we hit end stream, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Lane's not out on the chat. No worries there. So he's not.
Matthew over here campaigning for the last minute NIL flip.
Yeah, this is the John Turntine fund, so I need it.
There we go. And Jeffrey, we get to you next. What magic?
Definitely excited to be part of the watch party tonight, even though it did not go our way with Malakai Lee going to Alabama. But this is awesome. Definitely love the additions at the Voice of College Football of having these recruiting watch parties. Hopefully there's plenty more in the future with more commitments, because this is great having everybody from all the different channels. It's a blast. Definitely, if you're a fan of whatever team in college football, go check out all the channels at the Voice of College Football, especially your favorite team, but even support the other ones as well if you're not a fan of those teams, because definitely there's a lot of fantastic contributors and hosts at the Voice of College Football Network. And me and Jackson, every Monday and Thursday, Alabama at the Voice of College Football, we are bringing you Alabama content on football, sometimes basketball, but it's 99% football. It's what we do around here, and definitely going to check that out if you're an Alabama fan or not. Like we bring everybody in. We've got Michigan fans in our chat. We've got Ohio State fans in our chat. It's all good. We love the friendly banter. Definitely appreciate the support. And go check out the Michigan channel, the Texas channel, the Georgia channel, and all the other budding channels at the Voice of College Football. I mean, there's new ones popping up every single day. We might even get to the Merrimack channel eventually. I have no idea. But we're on our way to getting all the Power 5 or Power 4 now, and even some of the major Group of 5 channels going, and it's awesome. Definitely.
We even have a Mississippi State channel where Christian Ballard's hosting it on Mondays at 4 p.m. Central Time.
Listen, they just keep coming.
They do.
You also can find me on my YouTube channel, Only Talk Sports, as well. If you'd like to go check that out, definitely would appreciate that as well. But definitely, this was great, guys.
Check out Only Talk Sports, where he talks sports every single day, or at least he tries to.
I've been more consistent lately, Jackson. I'm trying.
Tell your friends, family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Jackson Johnson gives everybody on the Alabama channel all day, every day.
Oof. I appreciate it, man. Like we're getting Alabama rocking and rolling, and our next show is gonna be Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will be having an early Florida State preview, where our Florida State guys, Matthew Lennox and Sam Moore, are going to be joining us, and we're going to be giving our take on EA Sports, talking about what's going on where they're ranking Alabama on each offense, defense, stem rankings, top 25, much more. And of course, you could check out my personal channel on Jackson Johnson 979, 321 subs away from that magic number 1,000. And in a little bit, I will be filming episode 74 of the Jacksonian with Samuel Recker of College Football with Sam. We're going to be talking quite a lot about what's going on in the world of college football, where we think things will go, and much more. It's going to be a fun one, and it should be released on tomorrow night or Sunday night. But either way, we know a lot of people are bored waiting it out for college football, so we'll release it as soon as possible.
You guys are the number 1 ranked team on College Football 26, which is crazy.
Yeah, how?
I don't know.
How?
Oh man, yeah, it's funny though, but you're gonna see Coach Johnny Burt's giving his take on it. But
I'm all in. I'm loving the college football video game. I've been running leagues on CFB 25 for the last year, and like I said earlier, we're talking about doing one with the creators and whatnot. So I'm all in on any of the game content.
There you go, man. And of course, you will definitely see more of these watch parties, recruiting commitment watch parties, each on the Voice of College Football channels. No worries there. And like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bells to each of these channels so you never miss no video whatsoever. And with that said, we wish y'all a happy Friday night and a roll tide.
Go Blue.
Roll tide.
There you go, man.